Ladies and gentlemen, big band jazz night. Loving that music, Fernando Ramirez. That is awesome, sir. I like that. Guys, welcome to the platform. We're excited. Eric Wilder, listen, we're at a jazz club, man. That sounds good.
I was saying we took it up a notch. That was classy. Very nice.
Leave it to Fernando, man. He makes it all happen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the platform. We're right 1 minute away from the bottom of the hour. With that time we've got left, send out those last minute texts, make those last minute phone calls. Let's get as many people in front of this opportunity as possible. This is our Wednesday night conversation. My name is Gerald W. Parker, and I'm honored to host this platform with my good friend out of South Florida, Mr. Eric Wildner. Welcome, sir.
Well, good evening. Hey, you're fired up, and I'm going to tell you that I'm fired up as well. I just came back from a real estate investors meeting, which is all about exchanging. And the reason why I share that with you, I'm 30 years in the business. I'm a pretty well adapted guy in the real estate business. And I walk into a room where the whole thing is no money allowed. It's all exchanging. And the value of what I saw pass hands and the way that people negotiated was completely new and exciting to me. And
Wow.
what we're going to talk about tonight for many people is going to be new and exciting. So come with an open mind, because let me just tell you, when you learn something new that you see the benefit and the value, there's nothing to do but get excited.
No question about it, sir. And that's exactly what we bring to the table tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd be remiss without sharing with you a little bit of this young man's credentials. I mean, he is just doing some powerful things. He's highly successful in the real estate business. I mean, he's done it all from start to finish. He's been around the financial service space for decades and highly successful in that area as well. But he also is the founder of the longest running syndicated radio, real estate radio talk show in the country. And Eric, I'm so excited to know you and to know the impact that that program is making every day in the lives of people across this United States.
Well, the honor and the feeling is mutual. Dr. Gerald Parker, who is a well-known person, doctor in theology, a minister, a pastor, a leader, a motivator who is helping people all across the country. So, yes, sharing the microphone with you is an honor, my friend.
No problem, sir. Well, listen, while we get the PowerPoint up and running, I'd like for you to talk about the thing that sort of drew you to this concept that we're going to discuss tonight, the partnership with MWR. But there were three core beliefs that you hold true to, and I love that, and I want it for everybody too. And yeah, I've never had anybody expound on it the way you do. But talk about those things while we pull up the PowerPoint. Those three core beliefs.
Absolutely, absolutely, because they're near and dear to my heart, and they really are the cornerstone of when I started my radio show. Was all about these three principles. Number one is that I believe that everyone should own a home. I'm very passionate about that, and I believe that everyone really should own a home because it's the cornerstone of your financial wealth today and tomorrow. It is the cornerstone that real foundations are built on. Number two is that I believe that you need to have your financial house in order with a written plan. I believe that if you don't have your annual plan, your business plan, your life plan, whatever you want to call it, it's so important, especially in today's society where there's so many messages and conflicting messages out there, that if you don't know what you want and you don't have it in writing and you don't refer to it on a regular basis, it's very easy to get distracted. The next thing you know, another year goes by, and you don't have any way of tracking whether you're improving, standing still, or worse yet, going backwards. So having a written plan is very important. And number three is that I believe that everybody should have a business. And it doesn't matter whether it's a full-time business, a part-time business, just can't be a sometime business, because being a business owner opens up so many avenues, tax advantages, over 400 different tax advantages for the business owner that simply aren't available for those people who are W-2 employees. There's two tax codes, actually, one for the business owner and one for the employee. And guess which one is better? And you can actually be an employee and a business owner, take advantage of all the advantages. But let me just tell you that those three beliefs: own a home, have a written plan, and have a business so you can take advantages of extra income and extra tax advantages, is key and fundamental. Back to you.
No question about it, sir. I'm all on board with the concept and what you bring to the table. But those are things that I think we all need to sort of wrap our arms around and embrace and work toward. Those core beliefs are strong, sir. So let's get into it, Eric. We're here to talk about MWR. This is the company that Eric and I both have partnered with, and MWR stands for Make Wealth Real. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where lifestyle and legacy connect. So let's get into the meat of who we are and what brings us here. First of all, we're the first and only lifestyle and legacy company of its kind. Eric, they won't find it anywhere else. This company was founded in 2017. The headquarters actually down in your neck of the woods, South Florida, totally debt-free, a multi-million-dollar company. But the missions, and these are the things that drew me to MWR and what keep me here. They match up very close to your core beliefs. It talks about a mission to help the average everyday person experience true financial freedom. And the company talks about a vision to create more financially independent families than any other company in history. And here's the other part. They've leveled the playing field, sir. You and I and everyone else on this platform and anyone else who cares to participate has full access now to the same system, strategies, and experts previously reserved for the wealthy. We've got a real shot at winning, Mr. Wilman.
And that's the thing, it's not about inventing new strategies and new techniques. Some of the best and most successful strategies have been around for 100 years, but most people don't have access. And tonight we want to talk about getting access. Imagine joining the Costco of the financial world, where you get the best deals, the best resources, the best tools, and the best experts to help you to implement them. And that's what this is all about. This is about your lifestyle and your legacy.
Hey, great comparison, Costco's. This membership is full. I mean, it has quite a bit. But let's talk about MWR as a risk-free way to tap into the global financial market. Now, when we talk about the global financial market, 30% of that makeup is in the area of finances. This is money exchanging hands across the world every day. So what does that 30% equate to in dollars? 36 trillion, Eric. 36 trillion is the current market size, with a projected growth expected to happen in the next 5 years of 50 trillion. So with that being said, I say, my friends, there's enough of all of us, and we all want a piece of this pie.
The money conversation is the most common conversation that happens every single day. You don't go a day without talking about the price of gasoline, which, by the way, is up again. The price of eggs, the inflation, is it up, down, is it flat, interest rates? Everybody's having this conversation. Imagine being in a membership where you have access to the best resources, the best information, the best experts in, as you said, one of the largest markets in the world.
That's a big deal, sir. That's absolutely a big deal. And I want to stay here for a moment and kind of talk about that so people really understand what we've got our hands on. We have the ability to now to kind of play the game on the same level as the wealthy in a multi-trillion dollar year industry. And we've got a front row seat.
Indeed, indeed. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because as you know, it's all about access.
No question about it, sir. So let's move forward and talk about this simple three-step plan of wealth that MWR has developed that you and I, or anyone else, can follow and see themselves succeeding beyond their wildest dreams. How do we do it? First of all, we're going to use the bank's money, not our own. That money is going to give us access to guaranteed unsecured business funding. We're going to then purchase income producing assets. That those assets are going to help us generate passive monthly income while benefiting from appreciation over time. And then the good news, my friend, is we get a chance to share this with any and everybody. And through sharing, we're going to be able to generate multiple streams of immediate and residual income just from sharing the concept, Eric. I don't know how much better it gets.
Well, they say sharing is caring. And here's the thing, whenever we have a great experience, a good movie, a great restaurant experience, what do? We share it with people. Today, what is one of the fastest growing industries? It's the influencers, people out there sharing what they're doing. And the neat thing about being an influencer is that you get paid for sharing. Imagine if you could get paid for sharing the good news, the right access, and good ideas about money.
Listen, you're absolutely right. Ironically, I met someone the other day who handed me a business card that had their link on it, said, "Hey, access my site and give me some likes, you know, if you like my content, because I'm getting paid this way. I'm becoming an influencer. They're building a following. It's the most amazing thing that I've ever seen. But listen, we've got something for you to really take a look at as well. So, how do we do this? The first step was to access money. We've got to get it from somewhere. So, let's use the bank's money. And this is where MWR Funnel 360 comes in. This is business credit and funding made easy. No personal credit required, $50,000 minimum, no collateral, expert guidance through an entire process, and the funding is guaranteed, Eric. So once this door open, it doesn't close. Once you're approved, you're always approved. It's ongoing funding.
You know, some people say it takes money to make money. Imagine this. You know, we're talking about a membership that talks all about money, but it doesn't just talk. It starts by giving you access with our Fundable 360 to not only additional cash and funding that, by the way, you can use for whatever purpose you want. But here's in my world, you know, we deal with credit reports, we deal with people's personal credit profile. And more and more people are realizing how important that personal credit profile. P.S. Part of our membership deals with fixing, repairing, and building your personal credit profile. But who else has told you about the fact that you can also have a business credit profile? And in our membership, we're going to show you exactly how to build that business credit profile. So yes, you can have your cake and eat it. You can have a business profile, a personal profile, and that also helps to set the foundation for further growth.
No question about it, sir. So let's go on to the next step. There were three steps in this path, right? So now we've secured the money. What do we do now? We secure our future. How do we do it? We purchase precious metals, gold, silver, platinum, and any other metals that's out there. But we store these metals in a secured, licensed, and insured depository. And while that storage is happening, we're earning, right? We're generating monthly income through our exclusive leasing program. And then let's talk about appreciation. We're going to benefit long term from the value growth, the long term value growth of these precious metals. Eric, you study the market as well as I do. I kind of watch it and see, particularly when it comes to gold and silver. The increases that we're seeing, or these are record numbers over the past few months.
Well, let me tell you, you know, I just told you that I just came from this meeting where investors were trading goods and services. And one of the folks that is there, who's another real estate investor, but he also collects precious metals. And he brought a coin, a silver dollar that was minted in 2001, the year that the World Trade Center was attacked, 9/11. And that was the last year that that silver dollar was coined. Gerald, do you know what that mint condition silver dollar? It's remember, it was minted as a $1 bill, but it's silver. And
Right.
because of the value of silver, that was worth over $300. That original $1 coin, because it was silver, that just gives you a little bit of a taste of what precious metals can do. What we're talking about purchasing, you know, holding on to, earning, and then letting it appreciate, applies to what we call hard assets, precious metals, real estate, and other things as well. But historically, I mean, you can go back any period of time, you'll see that over time, hard assets grow in value, are a great hedge against inflation, and they are the stepping stones to wealth.
A silver eagle valued at $300. And laid right beside that silver eagle a dollar bill. Can it do the same? Absolutely not.
There's the power of inflation, but there's also the power of precious metals. You know, look at this chart. This is just silver. And you know, to me, it was neat because it was a real life example laid physically right in front of me. And you know, and I was holding the coin and everything in its special case. Historical values. Look at the returns on what these precious metals do. And most people don't even pay attention to precious metals. They don't pay
Right.
attention because, you know, it's hard, it's heavy, it's bulky. They don't understand, you know, the value of the investment. And these are just some of the predictions, as you can see. You know, could be a appreciation anywhere from, you know, 15 to 60% over the next few years.
That's a big deal, sir, and we're tracking it. But Eric, break it down for us. Help us understand. Now that we've got the pieces in place, we borrowed the bank's money. What do we do now?
So what do you do with the money, right?
Yeah,
As a business owner, you may already know what you need to do the money for. But let's say that the goal of getting the money is to start that investment cycle. So the initial thing you would do, let's say with that minimum $50,000, is invest 50,000 into silver. Now, we have also developed a program where you can lease the silver. It's kind of like, you buy the house, but you can lease it out and earn a cash flow. Here you get a monthly interest of about 8%. So that's the cost of the $50,000, about $333.33. But we have a contract if someone who wants to lease and use that silver or whatever precious metal as collateral, and they're willing to pay 1.5% per month. Now that generates an income of 750. What we're talking about here is called positive leverage. In other words, I am earning more than the cost of borrowing that money. And therefore, I make money, as you mentioned earlier, on other people's money, other people's assets. Well, net monthly profit of $416 per month times 12, we're talking about $5,000 a year in income on my $5,000, $50,000 that wasn't even mine to begin with, right? Now you add about 6,500 in appreciation, as we talked about from those historical numbers. The total value of my holdings started out at $50,000, $5,000 in earning, $6,500 in appreciation. My investment in year one just grew to 61,500, all without risking a penny of my own money, using any of my own money. And remember, these are done with safe contracts.
This is a powerful concept, Eric, because we know that the average person can't put their hands on $50,000. I forget what the number is that at the age at retirement age. I don't know, maybe less than $10,000 the average person had in savings or in a bank at that time. Because we've not figured these pieces out, but this gives us a real chance to move ourselves forward. And again, as you say, without risking a penny of your own money. But look at this. We now have the opportunity to watch our wealth multiply with what you just laid out. When the smoke settles and the dust clears, look at where we end up. We accumulate over $500,000 in assets and over $4,000 a month in passive income. This is pretty impressive.
Yeah, and just to color this picture a little bit more, you know, we in fact we didn't mention that the guaranteed minimum $50,000 in our fundable 360 program is the initial. As you use this and pay back, you build further credit. And so assuming here that every year you took another $50,000, that you increased your credit limits by that, but you also increase the leverage that you have. So you're 50,000 in the first year, 50,000 in the second year. Now you're at $138,000. By the third year, you're at 234,000. By the fourth year, 356,000. Remember, other people's money, positive leverage, contracts. And by the fifth year, you're at $500,000. This is how the wealthy do it. They don't need to use their own money because they have good credit. They understand the value. They understand that money in motion is what matters. Putting money in your savings account at 0 point nothing percent, while inflation is at 2.5, 3.5. And by the way, whatever the government says inflation is, in my world, I double it. If they say it's 2.5, it's 5%. When they say it's 5%, that's because you and I both know we saw the prices of everything jump 10% or more. So here is a roadmap that you can easily follow, a color by the numbers system to build wealth. And by the way, aided by experts, precious metals experts, accounting and tax experts, IRS agents, enrolled agents, CFPs, certified financial planners, CPAs, certified public accountants. We're talking about vetted experts that come with the membership.
Wow, that's a huge benefit, sir. So think about this. With what you just shared and what we've seen so far, the question is, how many people do we know that would like a risk-free way to accumulate millions in income producing assets without using their own money? And the answer clearly, sir, is everybody.
If everyone saw a simple and easy and risk-free way of investing, of course they would want to know. So yeah, you're right. Everyone would want to know, but not everyone has money to invest. We bring that to the table as well.
Absolutely, sir. So let's break this one down for us, Eric. We're at the point where we've secured the funding, we've got the investment vehicle started through the precious metals. Now we have the ability to share this, and in doing so, you have another opportunity to generate passive income.
As I mentioned in my three core beliefs, and that's why, when I came across this company and I saw what they were doing and what their mission was and how it aligned with my three core beliefs. Remember, number three was to have a business. And remember, I also mentioned that in today's world, there's a whole revolution going on with the influencing business, right? Social media, influencers, people who are making money by sharing the knowledge, that whether they created the knowledge or whether they're just passing it along. This program here has with it, first of all, simplicity, right? Because we have the experts. You don't have to be licensed in insurance and taxes. You don't have to be licensed in stocks or the precious metals. The duplication is, it's like a mini franchise. The system is already created and laid out. When you add those two together, that's how you create leverage of efforts. You know, J. Paul Getty is famous for saying that I would rather have 100% of the efforts of 100 people than 100% of my own. So here's the program. Let's say that you saw the value in this. You saw this actually play out. You did it for yourself. You're going to tell your friends, your family, hey, listen, I figured out a formula that actually works. And say you share it with 12 people and you begin building a network of 12 more people that are going to go out there and share it. And let's just say that those 12, six of them, love the idea, implement the idea, but the other six go out there and also, like you, become practically a disciple of how you've now gotten money under control. And let's say those six share it with three, who share it with two, who then shares it with one. And it's usually doesn't work that way. Usually it's a lot more. But here's the thing, that simple example that I just told you would have built a network of 1,164 people. Now, I didn't talk to every one of those 1,100 plus people. I talked to 12, and then I talked to 12 again next year, and another 12 next year. That's how this grows. Now, there's a compensation program that's tied to this business that, with what we just did, and it sounds simple because it is simple, but what I just shared with you right now would have generated, through our compensation plan, $12,000 in monthly residual income from referrals and the compensation of the plan. But don't forget, we've got that money, other people's money, at work for us, $4,000 additional in passive income on top of our residual income. So now you're looking at $16,000 in monthly income that continues each year, whether you continue this program or not. Now, I don't know why you wouldn't, but Gerald, what would change, right? When you have $16,000 coming in month after month after month every year?
Everything, sir. The car you drive, the house you live in, the clothes you wear, where you send your kids to school. Imagine $16,000 a month in passive residual income, whether you get out of bed or not, and you're totally debt free. What sort of life do you create then for yourself? And that's where we're at, guys. And that's what we're trying to get people, to help them understand that these things are possible, no question about it. So let's break down the MWR referral advantage. You get a chance to build a residual income by referring others to the premier wealth building system of this century. You haven't seen it done anywhere else. You're getting paid daily and weekly through our payment structure. Receiving, Eric, right now money for right now bills, industry leading payout. I've never seen a compensation plan like this, and we're going to dig in a little deeper to help you understand how these numbers really work and how much money is actually on the table. So let's talk about it, Mr. Wilden, when we talk about the potential income earnings with the MWR concept.
So I hope everyone gets the concept of residual income and why it's important. In fact, Warren Buffett, well, is also famous for saying that as long as you're trading your hours for dollars, whether it be on a salaried basis, on a hour per hour basis, or even as a commission basis, as long as you have to trade your efforts for money, you'll work until you die, because the
Wow.
minute that you stop, so does the money. It's important to generate that. And what I'm about to show you is a program that can generate up to $15,000 daily. Okay, daily. Think about that. Times 30, that's $450,000 a month. Multiply that again by 12 months in a year. That's a possibility of earning up to $5 million. Now remember, this is a program where all you're doing is sharing the information. The experts are doing the work. But Gerald, I'll be honest with you, I'm always skeptical when someone brings me something new that I haven't heard of before. And then I listen and then I study it and then I figure out whether I believe in it or not. But if you do believe in this after you've taken a good hard look, what we've just presented is athletes' money available to the average person who's willing to roll up their sleeves and get to know the system.
It's a beautiful thing, my friend. It really is to put yourself in a position to generate that level of income. But Eric, it gets even better. I mean, we talk about getting paid every single day, but there's so much more money on the table. And truth be told, in my opinion, and this is just Gerald Parker speaking, the best part of what we do with MWR is this right here. Help us understand this compensation plan, sir.
Well, I've heard this compensation be called a number of different things. I call it the income menu, right? You get to pick what level of income that you want to strive for. We've had people call this is their retirement plan, because I'm going to show you in a second how to retire on your schedule, not Uncle Sam's schedule. So let's say that you adopt the idea that we're in a new world where people are influencing and sharing, that this is commonplace. There's not a company on the planet today that doesn't now participate and want word of mouth marketing to work for them. Okay. And the more influence you have, the more they're willing to pay. That's the new dollar value. So let's start real small and real simple, because I want to break this down sort of in a color by the numbers fashion. Let's say that you found not 12, three people that are as excited as you and I are about this program. They want to go out there and share this program. Because we benefited already from the program and the benefits that it brings to us personally, all of the financial resources and the advice that we got. But now we tell other people. So we have a group of three people. The company now says, hey, Gerald, you're building a team. Once you have three people and have made two personal sales of the membership, we're going to now pay you every single day an automatic electronic deposit into your account of $5 a day. $5 again times 30 is $150 a month. Now, for a lot of you, it just got interesting. For me, I'll be honest, that wouldn't have moved the needle, but it would prove the concept. And that was very easy to do. And so it happened. Now, when you do that in less than 30 days, there's another level of income called a momentum bonus. So I just made $5 or $150 a month the first month. I got a $150 bonus because I did it in the first month. And now I have a business, okay, and I qualified. It's a whole IRS compliant. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. But I have a self-funding business generating $150 a month. So the next month, what I do is I go and I help those three that had the faith in me to help them get their $150 a month, help them get their $150 bonus. And if all I did was help my three get their three in the next 30 days, their first 30 days, my first 60 days, the company pays me another bonus of $450. Well, I like that. And I want to continue with the momentum there. So next month, I'm going to only focus on helping that new incoming freshman class get their $150 a month, proof of concept. They get their 150. The next class got their 450, but I got 900. When you add the 150, 450, and 900, that's $1,500 in my first month. But if you've also been following my income menu, when I got the first three, I got $5 a day. When I helped my three get their three, I'm at 12. Now remember, I only got three, but I have 12. I'm earning $20 a day or $600. Now, the needle begins to move, doesn't it? At $600 a month, that's a nice car payment. For some people, it could be a significant part of a mortgage payment, but that's $7,300 for only having shared it with three people, but helping your three people do the same. Now, you take it one more month. Oh, by the way, in that third month, now I'm at $50, which is $1,500. And I always like to point out a very important point. Do you know, Gerald, and you and I have been over this before, so you do know that the maximum Social Security check issued in the United States per month is $4,000. That's the most you can retire on with Social Security. But to some of you may think, well, $4,000 would be nice, but the average Social Security check is around $1,600. That means the majority of people in the United States are getting a Social Security check of around $1,600, which took them 40 years to get. 40 years of going to a job for 40 hours a week, after having gotten an education that we just duplicated in only 3 months. Very
Wow.
simply done. Now,
Wow.
I'll let you decide where you want to stop on the income menu. I suggest that you don't stop because, as you see, the numbers grow quickly because as more people become aware of this, and that's why we are the fastest growing financial services company in the country today. It's the secret that nobody's heard of yet, but you and I both know we've seen the magic behind the curtain. And we know that this company is going to go big and it's going to go wide. And the question is, now that you've seen it, you can't unseen it. Look at the daily column. Remember, I said before that you could make from $5 all the way to $15,000 a day. There's a gentleman. I don't know if he's on this call today, but we know him. He's making $1,500 a day right now as we speak. There are other folks. Dr. Parker's another example, a six-figure income right now, $1 million ring earner. Been in the company for a little while, but that's what it's all about. This is steady, solid, daily paid growth. These are our luxury residuals, but that's one of 7 different income streams. Back to you, Gerald.
No, it's amazing, sir. And you just shared, like you say, one of them. And one of the other ones is the lifestyle bonuses. That's $300 a week. The legacy bonus pays from $30 to as much as $150 for everybody that joins your organization. You mentioned the momentum bonus, but Eric, there's more money on the table. And let's get to it. We talked about Fundable 360, right? We're going to refer business owners to that concept to secure the $50,000. MWR says, hey, we're just not in the business of referring without paying you, so you're compensated for the referral.
So for each person that you refer that applies for our guaranteed fundable 360 program, you get paid a $400 commission. Do one of those, a week, that's good. Do one of those a day. Wow, 5 times, and take the weekend off after you made 5 times 400. That's $2,000 a week. That's much more than the average salary out there. Here's the thing, we're bringing to you the total package, right, Gerald?
Yes, sir. No question about it. But here's the other thing, Eric. The 25% matching bonus you mentioned earlier, we're building a network. You talk about 1,100 plus people, right? And those 1,100 people, some of those people are going to be doing exactly what you're doing. They're referring business owners to MWR Fundable 360. They're making their 400. But if you personally sponsored that individual, you're now getting a 25% check match. So you pick up $100 every time that happens. What happens when 10 people, 20, 30, 40 people in your organization are doing that every single day or every single week? And even the legacy bonuses carry over to this platform. We talked about you making 30 to $150 for everybody that joins your organization. They're willing to pay us 30 to up to $150 in legacy bonus for every business that is referred to the platform through your organization. So this is not work that you're doing, but it goes back to J. Paul Getty, what you mentioned earlier. You'd rather have the efforts of 10% of the efforts of 100 people than 100% of your own. This is about leverage, my friend. And if people can grasp that concept and understand that, when we talk about making wealth real, it's a reality here.
100%. And that's why, remember what we talked about. There's a simple formula, there's a plan that you can follow, and all of the access that you need to the right financial resources.
No question about it, sir. So let's keep moving and kind of break down the benefits of this membership. We talk about precious metals and leasing, access to MWR's exclusive precious metal and leasing programs, that provide you passive income, the ability to generate passive income. Financial experts, you mentioned them earlier, Eric, everything that we get, dedicated experts to assist you in debt elimination, tax reduction strategies, credit restoration. We're going to elaborate a little more on that. So we're coming back. Even bill reduction services, professional negotiators to lower your monthly expenses and increase your available cash flow, and our MWR rewards. That's our savings program that's going to give you the ability to earn, basically save money on your everyday purchases, whether it's dining, whether it's shopping. But let's get back to the experts, Eric, to help our audience understand what we bring to the table. You mentioned it earlier, and here's some of the pieces. We talk about CPAs, financial planners, enrolled agents, credit restoration experts, debt elimination experts, investment consulting, a bill shredder component, keys to home ownership, which I want you to elaborate on, as well as land banking and also trust. You get all of this within this one membership.
It's phenomenal. And let me just tell you, and that's why I keep mentioning the financial experts, because I think that's the secret sauce in this whole membership. And
Yeah.
I've used them, and in fact, I use them on a regular basis. And let me just tell you that the accounting and tax advice, it's not simply, can you help me balance my checkbook? Can you fill out a simple, easy 1040? I've gone to them with questions like, I want to set up an anonymous corporation in another state. What's the best vehicle for my situation? And then they ask me about my situation. This phone call took about 90 minutes. Do you know what 90 minutes with a high level, tax attorney, tax level advisor would cost? It would cost hundreds of dollars. And you know what I paid? Zero. It's included in my membership. And you talk about the credit experts. I often talk on the radio show the value of your credit score. Most people disregard, they don't value their credit score. Let me just tell you this very simply. If you have an 800 plus credit score, do you know that you can make money with your credit score? When you have a 700 credit score, which is the national average, then you get fair rates. People in the 800 get 0% interest for 12 to 24 months. They get cash bonuses from $500 to $5,000 just for using their credit lines. And then when you have anything below 700, below average, you're paying a severe premium. A severe premium. Let me give you an example. Two people buy a house. One person has, a 700 credit, one has a 600 credit. They buy a $300,000 house. The one with the 700 credit gets a 6% rate. The one with a 600 credit score gets an 8% rate. There's just a 2% difference that they're paying. But do you know that 300,000 at 8%, and the difference is $500 a month,
Wow.
times 12, that's $6,000 a year, times 30 years, that's $180,000. Same loan, same price house. One with good credit, one with bad credit. One paid $180,000 more on a 300,000. In other words, 50%, more than 50% more. And that's why these experts are so valuable. I can't tell you how valuable they are. And when you find out what the cost of the membership is, you're going to say, what?
Well, not only that, Eric. I mean, you were the critical component in bringing keys to home ownership to this platform, and I'd like for you to talk a little bit about that too, because that's one of the most exciting pieces of the platform to me when we talk about the membership. That's it, man. You
Yeah,
guys
this
are
is
making
this
it
is the
happen.
logo here.
Yeah,
a
you guys are making it
nationwide
happen.
Yeah, nationwide network of housing experts we brought to the table are now an exclusive benefit to MWR. You know, when the banks say no, we say yes. We talked about the Fundable 360, but we also have financing for homes. We have a rent to own program. We have our own in-house financing program, which, by the way, none of these are based on credit scores. Why? Because we believe, remember I said how they align with my fundamental beliefs. I believe everybody should own a home, and we're making that possible. Imagine if you could bring that to your community. Imagine if you could share that with your mortgage brokers, your real estate agents. In fact, if you are one of those things, man, I'm going to give you the golden ticket to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, because the path to home ownership is more concerned about what you can afford. That's what we call affordable housing, that which is within what your income allows you, not about the credit, not about the down payment, but we have a program at every different level for every level of down payment. Let me just say this: if you can afford to pay rent, you can afford to own a house, and you should. It doesn't matter what your past financial story was, because in our program, we don't have you build your credit to buy a house. We have you buy a house that builds your credit. And so thanks for bringing that up. That's another one of the golden, benefits of our membership.
Listen, I've seen it happen time and time again. People that had given up hope of ever becoming homeowners joined this platform, and within months, in less than 12 months, in many cases, people were able to secure their home. I mean, it's amazing to me what's on the table when you talk about this membership and the advantages that we bring to the average American public. But think about these savings we talked about using those experts. We're talking about saving $2,000 a month. Now, I don't care where people are in their financial life. If we have the ability to put an additional $2,000 a month back into your pocket from your existing finances, would you say, sir, that that's a big deal?
It's a huge deal. When you think about it. Now, remember, that's $2,000 per month times 12. We're talking about $24,000 of potential savings. Now, it all depends on, what your spending habits and what your income level is. But here's a program, a membership that whether you have $2 in your wallet or $2 million in your bank account, these savings, which today average documented, we have a what I call a wall of fame, a long website full of testimonials of people that save $400, $800 a month, $2,000, $3,000. This is immediate relief. This is stuff, and Gerald, you're a poster child for this system as well. When you first joined this membership, you said, let's go to town and let's employ. We have what's called, the immediate pay raise, the instant pay raise, right?
Yeah.
You went, contacted the tax advantages. They showed you how to restructure how you were getting paid. And the next day, you notified the payroll department, and by the next week, you had $300 more in your paycheck.
Absolutely, sir. It works like a charm. I mean, and these are things that, again, I'm guided through this process by financial experts. And guys, that's the advantage here. But Eric, let's talk one more thing before we move on to the next slide. I've got many people that say, Gerald, I want to pursue the Fundable 360, right? But the
Mm-hmm.
holdup is the fee to get started, which is $2,995. So I say to those people, and help me with this one, that we have the ability to help you generate the income that you need to get started with Fundable 360 if that's what you desire. Now, where does that income come from? Look at this $2,000 in savings. We can start there. We can go back to what Eric showed you with the revenue sharing program. 36 people in your organization pays you $50 a day, $1,500 a month. So in 2 months, we've secured what we need to move on with business funding. Or you're going to get paid $400 on every business owner that you introduce it to that does the business funding. So go out and do that 7 or 8 times. So I mean, we've thought it through. I think, to help people understand that we can help you generate the income that you need if you want to pursue the Fundable 360 and you don't currently have the fees to get started.
Yeah, like I see one of the comments in there. It's a no-brainer. if I ask you, and let's talk a little bit more about the membership, and let's get to it, because I bet you that's the big question that a lot of people have on their minds.
Oh, absolutely. No question about it. So, what is it going to cost us? You mentioned it earlier. A good CPA, a financial planner in any city in America right now, is going to cost the average person $200 to $300 an hour. Who amongst us has $200 or $300 an hour available when the great majority of people in this country are living paycheck to paycheck? We're talking
The
100.
wealthy do it all the time because they know it's worth it.
Exactly. $149.97 a month gets you access to all those services and experts that Eric talked about. No contract to sign, no setup fee, and we guarantee your success. And sir, this includes your spouse. So you get a chance to build it together with another individual at no additional cost. So complete access, unlock precious metals purchasing and leasing opportunities while your personal team of financial experts helps you protect and keep more of the money that you make. As you said, Eric, our experts do the work and we enjoy the rewards.
That's the beautiful thing about this. And here's the thing, right? You have access now to all of the advice and the level of advisors that the wealthy have for a fixed monthly cost. And that's the beautiful thing. And as you mentioned, that's not for one person, that's for up to two people at the same address. Husband, wife, domestic partners are okay. Father, son, mother, daughter, doesn't matter. Two people, same address, get all of the benefits, each individually, for this membership. And that's what unlocks, it's the access that becomes very valuable. And that's why I call it the Costco of finances. We talked about a lot of benefits. Each individual one of these would be worth the monthly fee here. But when you put that whole package together, it's like having a financial shopping spree at Costco.
No question about it. So 149.97. Now, Eric, I like the membership. I want to use it to get my financial life together. I want to surround myself with these experts, but I understand that I also can represent this platform and be paid a ridiculous amount of money by becoming a business owner with MWR.
Super great point. And this is what I call this, the ultimate business in a box. Okay. It's better than a franchise. A franchise costs, many thousands of dollars for you to invest up front to be able to get into the franchise. And many franchises don't even break even for years. Many people who start a business, 80% of businesses are out of business in the first 5 years. So starting a business is risky business. Starting a franchise is very expensive. But imagine here, we just talked about this membership for $149.97 a month, which, if you remember also on the chart, you find three people, you now have your business paying for your membership. You refer three people as members, and the company then now gifts your membership to you. Now, how do you become a business owner? It's really very simple. Literally, in the next hour, you could become a business owner simply by a one-time $100 payment to unlock the full business ownership status. But it's not just status, it's websites, a front-facing website that has all the marketing material and very professionally done. Ask the person that invited you to check out their website. Then you have the back office website that tracks everything. The reason that we can do all these things and pay so handsomely is because of the technology that's available there. So you would become what's called a qualified marketing director. And that's really all you are. You're directing the marketing, referring people to the experts who do all the work. You don't have to be licensed. You can do this in all 50 states. Your stockbroker can't do that. Your insurance broker can't do that. Your real estate broker can't even do that. You are now licensed in all 50 states plus Puerto Rico, able to generate income from all of those states and from anyone that you know, and create those multiple streams of income. And we talked about the residual income in the beginning, and it all starts with if you want to be a business owner, $249, which includes the one-time $100 fee plus the monthly membership of $149.97. And I already told you several ways on how you can, have that $149.97 paid for you. All of this includes today's lifestyle that you're building, as well as a solid legacy for you in the future with unlimited earning potential.
All right, I mean, let's give some thought to that, Eric. You make a $249.97 investment. Look at what it does for you. One, it puts you in business with the fastest growing financial strategies company in the country. That's MWR. Two, it puts you in the middle of a multi-trillion dollar a year industry. That's financial service. You mentioned earlier. Well, I mean, what is the topic of discussion amongst people everywhere today? It's money, it's finances. You bring this to the table the solution to the problem that 98% of the people in this country are facing. The issue is finances, and you got the fix, right? And you talked about the ability to create multiple streams of income within one compensation plan. Let's count the number of ways we get paid. The luxury residual, one. Sponsor bonus, two. Momentum bonuses, three. Lifestyle bonuses, four. Legacy bonuses, five. MWR Fundable 360, that's six. The matching bonus, that makes seven. And then the additional legacy bonus, eight different ways, my friend. Eight different ways within one compensation plan. I doubt very seriously if there's anybody else out there that's doing this. And there's not, because I've looked. There's no company in the country that's delivering the way we do as it relates to compensation.
Category of one, my friend, and we've looked around because once it's like in the meeting that I talked about in the very beginning of today's presentation, when you stumble across something that's brand new to you, may not be brand new to the world, but it's brand new to you. You see, these people have been exchanging these kind of deals for decades. Okay. I found out about it just now, and I get excited. And the same way I got excited when this business was presented, I looked at this and I looked at it and I said, this is where you can build true scalable leverage. And by the way, there's three big market forces going on right now. And I hope people notice. Number one is the technology, right? We're in such a rapid growing AI technology environment, and we're able to track the business and track the referrals like never before. There's something going on in our society also. People are looking for an opportunity, right? With all this rampant inflation and all the uncertainty in the job market, right? Just over broke. People are sick and tired of being sick and tired and struggling and not knowing until they retire if they had enough money to retire. What if you could see a way, and by the way, have access to experts again? Here I go, the certified financial planners. It'll take you a snapshot of where you are today. You can talk about where you want to be, where you see yourself retiring, and they'll map out what you need to do, how you need to do it. And we just gave you the system to create the tax advantages and the additional income. And when you think about it, for $249, and remember my example, in the first 30 days, find three people, you're making $150 a month. You do that in your first 30 days, they give you another 150. So where else can you start a business that in the first 30 days, not only did you get all your money back, but you're operating at a profit? Most businesses dream to do that.
No question about it, sir. It's a huge advantage. And look, it gets even better because we're confident in what we do because the way we're delivering, right? Consistently with these experts. So we're talking about a 30-day money back guarantee. These guys are pretty bold, Eric. They put it in writing. Look at what they say. If our expert strategy or opportunity cannot help you save or make more money in your first 30 days, MWR gives you a full refund. Even with the fundable 360, there's a guarantee in place. And they say if any business you refer, including your own, does not qualify for at least $50,000 in ongoing unsecured business funding by following our experts' guidance, MWR Fundable 360 will refund your enrollment fee. That $2,995 that we talked about, that's pretty strong. It seems to me, and it's proven daily, that this is a risk-free opportunity.
It is. It is. The only risk is of not doing something, right? The old saying, if not this, then what? If not you, who? Yeah, I love the saying, and I borrow it all the time, that you always say, you got to participate in your own rescue. You got to be a participant. And no one is coming to rescue you. A lot of people are sitting there with their hands out waiting for the government to come save them. How's that been for a plan? It hasn't worked out for people. Our country is going to celebrate its 250th birthday in 2026. 250 years. I can tell you two things. Number one, that the government doesn't rescue The population. They may rescue a person here, a person there. We have, safety nets for people, but they're safety nets. They're not retirement accounts. It's not your plan going forward. Here's the other thing. This is something that you should be a little suspicious about. 250 years, and today we still don't teach our kids in school about money and finances. Most people graduate high school barely, if able, to balance a checkbook. You go to college, you spend, hundreds of thousands of dollars for a 4-year education. They teach you how to run a business, but not how to run your own home, how to retire financially independent. You think after 250 years they didn't realize that they should be doing that? Listen, those people who are in power like power. Okay, that's undisputable. Wall Street's in on it, Washington's in on it, and all they want to do is to keep the status quo. At the beginning of the century, many people don't realize, only 100 years ago, most people were self-employed. The
Yep.
majority of everybody, was mom and pop shops, little neighborhoods and everything. And then came the industrial era, and what they needed was employees for the factories. And what they did is they indoctrinated our schools to teach people to go get a good job, to go get good grades so you can get a good job, and then give us the best 40 years of your life. And at the end, we're going to give you a gold watch and a pension. You'll be set for life. Well, who gets a pension anymore? Once they got us, hooked on, it's like a drug dealer. The minute they got us hooked on that, 40-year career, they started taking away all the benefits. There's no pension plans anymore. Now you got to put your own money in a 401k at risk in the stock market. Remember, I told you Wall Street and Washington are in on it. It's up to you to take the next step. Hopefully what we did, and I hope, maybe I disturbed you a little bit. That was on purpose, because again, you got to get excited. You got to get in control of your own finances, because if you don't have a plan, and why I'm so adamant about having that written financial plan, if you don't have a plan, believe me, Washington, Wall Street, and big business has a plan for you, and they will vacuum the money right out of your pockets into theirs and wish you good luck in Social Security world.
Yeah, and leave you holding the bag, my friend. Hey, here's the bill of goods that we've been sold. Talk about it. The traditional plan or the traditional path versus the path that we offer with MWR. Let's do a comparison, Eric.
Yeah. I just laid out the traditional path, right? Work 40 years. And by the way, that is not even accurate anymore. Nowadays, people are working 50 years because
Yes.
they can't retire on time to hopefully retire. Do you think those people greeting at Walmart and wiping tables at McDonald's are there because that was their goal? No, they risk their own money, right, to invest. They want you to risk it and earn, what they say is a good rate of return, of 4 to 6%. In the real world, that doesn't even happen. Businesses won't settle for that kind of money. So you have to risk your own personal assets, put your own personal credit up. You work harder and harder instead of smarter for more income. You settle for that 5 to 7% annual return. You rely on Social Security as part of your retirement plan. I'll be honest, Gerald, it's not even in my financial retirement plan. If it's there, it's going to be gas money or spending money, because Social Security, if it's even there, isn't what the amount of money that I want to live on. Versus, why don't you go ahead into the opportunity alternative that we laid out today?
So if we have choices, right? And I can make a decision on what I want to do with what path I want to take. I'm going with this MWR path. Think about it. Now let's compare it. I get a chance to build retirement income and assets in 5 years or less. I'm condensing time frames, right? And this is for the person who is near retirement age or who's already there and has to be forced to continue to work. Because you said it earlier, that number's not 40 anymore, it's more like 50. But I'm going to be using the bank's money, so there's no risk. All right, no personal assets or credit required. I'm leveraging assets and people to make more money, and I'm generating 12 to 24 plus annual returns plus the appreciation, and I get a chance to enjoy passive residual income and own and control my life. I dictate the terms. And this is where we all want to be, and this is where we all need to be. And MWR offers a realistic path versus the traditional path. Because Eric, I'll say this, And I'll say this with great confidence. If people don't find a way to get off of this traditional path, as Warren Buffett says, they're going to be forced to work until they die. I don't want to be that person.
Nope. And I'm not going to be that person, because like you said, I participate in my own rescue. The things that we're talking about, hopefully you'll look at them as being common sense. We started out by talking about different opportunities that are available. Many of them without most people don't have access to it. We just showed you how for less than the cost of a cup of coffee, you can have access to the same level of advice and planning that the wealthy have. And after a while, we have different levels in our program. We have our level one, showing you how to save money on your taxes, showing you how to save money on interest and eliminate your interest faster than any other way. We have experts that coach you and teach you how to do that. Number three, we show you how to save money on your monthly bills, many times, by the way, without having to trade carriers. There's better programs. You ever been on an airplane? I have, sitting on an airplane where I'm sitting in the same row next to somebody else's seat. One person paid $200 less for the same air ticket, going to the same from the same origination to the same destination. Why did one person pay $200 more for the same level of service? Well, because one person didn't know about the opportunity or how to get that savings. We have experts in the area of interest, taxes, regular monthly expenses, how to hedge yourself against inflation. And that's the bottom line, is that you don't have to do this alone. Finances sound complicated, and quite frankly, they are, right? But not when you have a team of experts, in your back court, helping you out every step of the way with unlimited access to go back and say, what you told me last week, I forgot. Could you tell me that again? And they're not going to charge me another 150, 250, $350 an hour. They're going to give me the information as much as I need.
That's what I'm talking about. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. That's why we believe that MWR is the perfect business. There's some huge advantages here. One, universal appeal. All right. You get immediate income, higher retention, and here's the best one of all, recession proof. Everything you need to protect and keep more of the money that you make, regardless, you mentioned it earlier, Eric, regardless of the economic conditions. We don't care what inflation looks like. We don't care what the market's doing. None of that matters because we have the opportunity to generate to create basically our own economy.
Absolutely. And so at the end of the day, you got to make a decision, right? And PS, no decision is a decision, right? We have a couple of opportunities here that we presented. Number one, a great membership. If you like what you heard about the membership, let me just tell you that it's worth every single dollar that is available. The second option is that you can choose to look at this as a business person. For me, it was a very easy decision, right, to make, because for a one-time fee of $100, we went right into the mode. I know I could share this with, all of my real estate clients. In fact, I want to tell all of my real estate clients about this service, A, and B, I no longer ever have to turn a client away from who wants to become a homeowner, because we have our keys to home ownership program. So the bottom line here, right, is what are the next steps? The next steps: get your questions answered. Get back with the person who invited you here, who invited you because they thought enough about you that you might be one of those three people that they want to team up with and go out there and kill it, right? Get your questions answered, but don't let the paralysis of analysis hold you back too long, because time is money. Choose the membership level that you like. Decide whether you want to be a lifestyle and legacy membership and take advantage of it, or a full qualified marketing director, opening up a whole slew of tax deductions, tax advantages, as well as the income that's there. And finally, like I said, don't sit on the sidelines. Complete your enrollment either way. The person that invited you here is standing ready to team up and work with you and lock arms. And PS, Gerald and I are here to help you guys as well. We're looking to build, a real movement, much more than just a business. It's a movement to help more people be able to retire financially independent. And so, hopefully, maybe tonight is the difference. It's the day that you launch your financial journey. Begin working with the experts. Get a snapshot. All you have to do is give them the information and they come back with the results. Not bad, Gerald.
No, no, not bad at all, sir. Listen, I hope we've given them enough to make that decision that you talked about. I mean, so guys, either you want some of the money or you want all of the money. So the decision is yours. Either decision you make tonight is not the wrong one. Joining forces with MWR, we need boots on the ground all over the country helping to tell this incredible story. On behalf of myself and Mr. Wilner, we want to say welcome to the MWR family. Once again, this is where lifestyle and legacy connect. Eric Wilner, it has been an honor and a privilege, sir, to serve with you on this platform tonight. I'm going to stop the screen share, and we've got our director of operations back there, Mr. Fernando Ramirez, handling everything. If he can open up the microphones and cameras, we may have a few questions before we get out of here. We're right at the bottom of the hour, guys. We don't want to keep you much longer. But if there's somebody here new tonight, hearing and seeing this for the first time, you've got questions, we don't want you to leave this platform tonight without having a full understanding of what you've seen and heard.
Gerald, I always look forward to our Wednesdays. It's one of the highlights of my week. Remember that commercial, Mike, 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 Mike. It's hump day and it's pump day for us.
No doubt about it. Absolutely.
I see in the questions, by the way, can a person only be a member of the trust account? I'm not sure exactly how you mean that question, but we have trust experts as part of the services that MWR has. A person, in a trust, there's a trustee, there's a beneficiary, and then there's whatever the trust is. So get the membership and get with the trust experts, and they'll design the right situation for you.
Absolutely, no question about it. And again, they don't have to be business owners to secure the trust. That's part of the membership, so they can be a member only and then have access to that trust account. So again, we've got experts that will guide you throughout that process. So pretty exciting. I've been fortunate enough to have the trust. It's been a huge benefit for me. It's got me set up and structured where I'm not going to have to worry about where it all ends, as it relates to being able to pass on the legacy and structure it in a way that it works and continues to work for decades. So I'm pretty excited about that. So guys, once
Well,
again,
Gerald, you know that you spell my last name with two L's, okay? So when you fill out those trust documents, put me on the list.
I got you, my friend. I absolutely got you. Hey, listen, we've got Fernando Ramirez with us tonight to help us wrap things up. Fernando, once again, thank you for all that you do to help us put this platform together and be here to support us on every Wednesday night. We've had a good number tonight. We're looking for more people. We want to double these numbers every single week. But Fernando, thank you again, sir, for all that you do. Any closing remarks?
Dr. G.W. Parker, Mr. Eric Wilner, phenomenal job. I mean, if they were to ask me to rate you, 5 star. If there's a zero next to the five, I would say 50 star. Tremendous job. I do like to welcome a couple of guests. As a matter of fact, Mr. Eric Wilner, I spoke highly of you as a real estate expert. And we got Mary Lule, and we also have Heidi Arsaluz. So these are incredible experts in the real estate arena. And these are people that I have met throughout the years because of Mr. Gilbert Pino. Right. I met Deborah, which is Heidi's sister. So that connection has always been around where we're blessing people all over the state of California with these experts here. So Marilule, great to have you here. And Heidi, great to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Excellent. And
Glad you're here.
congratulations for trusting the process. I worked with Dr. G.W. Parker, tremendous coach, tremendous mentor. He's an expert. He's a testimonial of what the company has done for him. Mr. Eric Wilner, I worked alongside with him throughout many, many years, and he's a real estate expert. He's got an incredible radio show. If you can just kind of talk about that, maybe they'd like to watch you every morning, Eric.
Yeah, and it started out, 26 years ago, believe it or not, on a humble little AM station here in South Florida. Today, it's broadcast all over. It streams live. Um, you can go to, you can even watch the show because we also stream it live on Facebook. If you go to facebook.com/The Real Estate Show, you can go there. So thanks for the shameless plug. But you'll hear me talk about many of these same principles, and MWR has been an incredible asset in my real estate. As I said, I no longer have to turn people away to have less than perfect credit, have less than adequate down payment, because MWR fills the gap. As a mortgage professional, I didn't mention that, but I've been in the real estate 30 years, and a majority of that also in the mortgage industry. In the same thing, all those turndowns that used to, be heartbreaking, to say sorry, come back when your credit's better. I never have that conversation anymore. And all of those dead leads now came back to life. And one of my mentors, Mr. Lou Brown, he wrote a book called Doing Well While Doing Good. And that's exactly how I feel with this company, with this business, and in the work that we do in real estate, that yes, we do very well ourselves, but it's because we bring a lot of value and do a lot of good in the community.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Eric. Appreciate you. Appreciate you both. Haiti?
Thank you. I didn't want to interrupt you, but thank you for having us as well.
Well, you're part of the family already. So, Haiti, we're here to make things happen for you and your clients and people that you associate with. And I see your
Bienvenido.
profiles. Yeah, exactly.
And
So
we
great
have
to have
a
you both.
very strong Spanish community. So for all of you out there that come from different cultures, we welcome them all. We already have a lot of our marketing material already in Spanish. So bienvenido.
There you go. By the way, Mr. Eric Wheeler, you speak 4 languages, right?
Sí, señor.
Yes.
Con mucho gusto.
Good
Dr.
deal.
GW Parker, you learned Spanish too.
Yes,
Yes, he
sir.
is.
Absolutely, sir.
Thank you for being our mentor. We appreciate you. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. All
Hey,
right.
Fernando.
All right, gentlemen.
Thank you, team.
Un
Mr.
placer.
Gilbert Pino, great to see you back.
I'm back. I'm not just back. I'm here. So,
I
great
know.
content.
I love this guy. This is awesome, man. Let's get it done.
Mr. Gilbert Pino has a lot to offer, man. I love his lifestyle. Him and his wife, they're enjoying life, but they're always looking for that, additional extra cushion of income, and they love residual income. So, Mr. Gilbert Pino, we're headed in the right direction, sir.
Mucho
You're
gusto.
absolutely right, Fernando. Thank you.
Mucho gusto,
It's an honor.
Gilberto.
Gracias, igualmente.
All right,
All
Doc.
right.
Let's get it done. Take care, man. Thank you, guys. God
Good
bless
night.
Have
you
a
all.
great night.
Have a great
See
evening.
you
Night.
next week.